What's up, folks? It's your buddy Fatalroadie. Tonight we're doing night 1 of WrestleMania 36. Starting off with the kickoff show, we had pretty much almost an hour worth of bullshit, but we did have one match. Drew Gulak versus Cesaro. This is a decent, all but quick match. Cesaro actually won something this time. This is a pretty good technical versus power match. Usually most kickoff show matches are just throwaways, but this one actually, like I said, it was short, but it actually stood on its own feet. After a whole bunch of talking after that, we actually get to the main card of WrestleMania. Stephanie McMahon welcomes us to a different WrestleMania, being shot at a closed set and other places, as she says. We are then welcomed by the host with the most, Rob Gronkowski, looking like a full Vanilla Ice reject, along with his buddy Mojo Rawley. We then go to our first match of the night, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus the Kabuki Warriors for the Women's Tag Team Championships. This was a decent match, both teams pulling off some insane spots. Nikki Cross hit the twisting neckbreaker on Kairi Sane, followed by Twisted Bliss by Alexa Bliss, who gets the pin, and they're now the new Women's Tag Team Champions. Pretty good opener for the show. I like the match. We then have King Corbin versus Elias. Corbin gets in the ring, gets on the microphone, says Elias isn't here. We then have a recap of him murdering Elias on SmackDown. Corbin tells the referee to forfeit the match by counting him out. Then Elias shows up. Corbin runs out after him onto the ramp, gets beat down, gets in the ring. We finally start our match. Elias continues to beat down on Corbin, but Baron stops him by chucking him out of the ring. Corbin tried to pin him and cheat by getting his feet up on the ropes. The referee saw it, stopped the count. While Corbin is arguing with the referee, Elias rolls him up and gets the pin. This actually was an okay match. It wasn't nothing really spectacular here. Then we have Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. This was a very physical match. Both Baszler and Lynch get really mean here. Baszler locks in the Carafuna clutch onto Lynch, but Becky rolls back, getting Baszler's shoulders onto the mat and gets the pin. So Becky Lynch retains. I'm not really sure how I feel about that one, but the match was decent. We then have Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn for the IC title. Drew Gulak, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Cesaro are at ringside. At the start of the match, Zayn keeps jumping out of the ring, trying to avoid Daniel Bryan. But as soon as Bryan gets his hands onto Zayn, all hell breaks loose. Bryan starts beating down on Zayn. It gets pretty physical. Daniel Bryan tries to go high from the turnbuckle, ends up getting caught with a haluva kick. Sami Zayn pins him to retain. I'm not a huge Sami Zayn fan, but this was actually a really good match. We then have Kofi Kingston, John Morrison, and Jimmy Uso in a triple threat ladder match for the SmackDown tag titles. I know that kind of sounds weird, but the Miz being out, they decided to take one person from each team and keep going with it. As with most ladder matches, this match got mean quick. There were some insane spots from the ladder coming from Morrison, Jimmy, and Kofi. At one point, John Morrison tightropes from one end of the ring to the other. That looked pretty cool, but ended up eating a Spanish fly from Kofi, which was quickly followed up by an Uso splash. At the end of the match, all three of them were up on top of the ladder. They actually had everything unhooked. All three of them were fighting. Kofi and Jimmy headbutt John Morrison. He falls off, holding both belts. So John Morrison and The Miz retain their titles. Our next match is Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. This is another physical match. Seth Rollins is talking a shit ton of stuff to Kevin Owens. Both competitors giving a ton of offense. Rollins grabs a ring bell and clocks Kevin Owens, causing a disqualification. As I was starting to think this was a good match, but a shit ending, Kevin Owens gets on the microphone, calls Seth Rollins a bitch for wanting to get out that way, says he wants the match to start over again with a no DQ stipulation, so we restart our match. Rollins beats down Owens outside of the ring, hitting him with the steps, hitting him with chairs, just totally wasting him. Owens rocks Rollins with a bell again, getting him up on the announcer's table. Owens climbs up onto the WrestleMania sign, drops down on Rollins. That looked sick. Owens gets Rollins back into the ring, hits him with the stunner, and gets the pin. Like I said, this was a good match. There were some pretty killer spots. Back up on the podium with Gronk and Mojo, R-Truth shows up saying he needs to hide. Gronkowski tries to pin R-Truth, but he's stopped by Mojo, who gets the pin and is now the new 24/7 champion again. Alright, we then had the match that had so much fucking build to it. Braun Strowman versus Goldberg for the Universal title. Right off the bat, Goldberg hits 4 spears onto Strowman, but Braun kicks out of each of them. At that point, Braun Strowman starts going on the offense, hits Goldberg with 4 power slams, gets the pin, and is now the new Universal Champion. We then go to our final match of the night, The Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a Boneyard match. Basically, this is the buried alive graveyard match. Okay, but we're going to call it a Boneyard match. Cool. AJ Styles shows up in a hearse. Then we got Undertaker showing up in a motorcycle. We got Biker Taker. Right off the bat, Undertaker takes it to AJ Styles. A little bit of a side note, while they were showing the fight going on, they had a bit of the tombstone where you can see it was basically just a wooden frame. It was hollow inside. Oops. Undertaker knocks AJ into the grave. Then Gallows and Anderson show up with a whole bunch of hooded figures. Taker takes out all the hoods. The club beat down on Undertaker, but Taker was able to fight back. AJ Styles comes running in, hits Undertaker with the tombstone, ground pounds Undertaker, apparently breaking his finger in the process. Styles breaks a shovel over a wheezing Undertaker, chucks him into the grave, starts up a tractor, but from behind him, lights show up. Undertaker shows up behind him. Taker pummels Styles, who starts scurrying up a ladder onto a roof, who's quickly chased up by Undertaker. Gallows and Anderson show up, but they're quickly leveled by Undertaker. Gallows is chucked off of the roof, while Anderson is given a tombstone. Taker stalks Styles, gives him a choke slam off the roof. Taker drags AJ Styles over to the grave, kicks him in, starts up the tractor, dumps the dirt down on Styles, winning the match. He gets on his motorcycle, rides off into the night as we end night 1 of WrestleMania 36. With all the pre-taping and stuff that they had to do, like, just to get this shit done, I'm not going to hold it against them. I honestly think they probably should have postponed it, but for what they did a good job on. There were a couple of flubs, like the back of the tombstone being shown, but okay, I mean, it was supposed to be an on-set match, so chances are that probably would end up being shown no matter where they were. The Undertaker Styles match was good. I actually liked it. Wasn't crazy about the Goldberg Strowman match because there was absolutely no fucking build whatsoever for it. We just went, hey, Goldberg's going to be facing Braun Strowman tomorrow. Cool. Awesome. Okay. And no, nothing. I mean, we knew why Roman Reigns wasn't going to be in it, but at least like when he first announced it, 2 weeks ago, we had all that time to build up to it. Nothing. Just Strowman's facing him. Okay, cool. All the other matches, they were good. I really couldn't give a bad match tonight. Even the kickoff show match was good. But that'll do it for night 1 of WrestleMania 36. I'll be back tomorrow for night 2. So leave a comment down below what you thought of tonight's WrestleMania, what you thought about this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya. See you tomorrow. Later.